All right, good morning. This is vlog number one of this is a vlogging series I'm starting, kind of mostly just for myself and my friends and my family and future friends and family. Want this to be kind of a video series, look back 20 years from now, dedicated to uh, this beautiful car right here. This is a 2002 Land Rover Discovery 2 that I just purchased about a week ago. I've named her Donna. Basically, I've always, in the back of my mind, wanted one of these as kind of just a fun project car. My family has driven Land Rovers since I was a kid. We had a Land Rover Discovery 2 when I was young, and then we moved up to a LR3 and eventually an LR4. The LR4 is still in our family, and owning one of these wasn't really a possibility for me until this year. I This is not meant to be my daily driver for anybody who on the internet stumbles upon this video and is worried. This is my second car. I do a lot of camping, a lot of fishing out in the Pacific Northwest, and I've just always wanted one of these. So the plan is over the next few years to fix her up and take her, can't have her be the dedicated camping rig. And I'm not, I know a little bit about cars, but definitely not a lot. I'm definitely an amateur, so I thought it would be fun to kind of um, vlog and sort of document how the multi-year project goes and the things that I learn, and kind of take her from the day one to day hopefully far in the future from now. These cars are not, meant to go, or they're not known to go on the long run. Um, but the hope here is to take really good care of her and take her as far as she can go. So just a little bit about the car. Again, named her Donna. This is just the name that I've chosen for her. Feels about right. Again, she's a 2002 Land Rover Discovery 2. Have a couple notes here. So she is the SD trim, so basically the base model. So for example, she does not have sunroofs, which at first I was a little disappointed about, but maybe God is looking out for me, because anybody who knows a thing or two about these cars knows that the sunroofs is a major source of leaks, and then the water just kind of runs down the pillars down to the bottom of the car and starts to rust it out, and it can be a death sentence for the car. So since she's the base trim, she does not have any sunroofs. She also does not come with any jump seats in the back. I might retrofit those in later, but we'll see. That's definitely a lower priority project, so probably won't come for a couple years or so. And that's all I can think of right now on the base model. Obviously, color. She's a forest green. I was super excited about the color. I think it looks really nice, especially for this region and going camping. The mileage at the time of the sale, she has 181,000 miles on her. These things are not known for going too high. My hope is to take really good care of her, take her up to around like maybe 250, but that's definitely wishful thinking. We'll see how it goes. My hope is to get a few good years of camping out of her, since she won't be my daily driver, so won't run her to the ground immediately. Just for reference, for anybody looking to buy one of these, I purchased mine for $2,800 in cash. I'm in the Seattle area. I found this one north of Seattle. It took a 2 months of searching for one to find one at that price point that was worth buying. A lot of the ones I found were either $1,000 and didn't run at all, and essentially were being sold for somebody to just tow it off the lot of somebody's house for cheap. Versus I found a few, many times, like 6, 8, 10,000. I even found one for 12,000. That people have put their work into, but I think these cars at the base, they're not worth a lot. You get a thing called the Land Rover tax, right? I mean, these cars are really nice cars in terms of they're becoming collectibles. People want these cars, so that's gonna up the price, so grand or two or maybe even three. And then if you find somebody who's put a lot of work into the car, they might want to try to recoup their costs a bit. So that might be why they're trying to sell it for 10, 12 grand. But I thought 2,800 was a pretty reasonable price for this car. The person I bought it from was a really nice guy. I thought it was a very reasonable price. It was actually listed at 3,200, and we decided on 28. Mechanically, she's very sound. Obviously a Land Rover this old and with that many miles on it, she needs a lot of work, but she runs and cold starts just fine, and taken her to work a few times and had really no issues so far. So mechanically she's good. Definitely cosmetically she has a lot of dings, a lot of things that need to be fixed, but I thought that was going to be even more fun because she's kind of starting like kind of at a blank slate, and hopefully can put a lot of work into her and uh, bring her up to exactly how I kind of want the car, not how somebody else has brought up the car. A little bit more about her. So she's had actually 14 previous owners. I am the 15th. That's a lot of owners for a car. Uh, I believe part of the reason, so the Carfax showed that she was a company fleet vehicle a few times. So I think that's why, she had a lot of registered owners in a short amount of time. There were some folks who only drove her for a few thousand miles before it was sold on to the next person, which normally would be kind of a red flag. But I think knowing that it was registered as a company fleet vehicle, hopefully that kind of um, subdues that concern a little bit. I mean, she runs fine, so knock on wood. So yeah, 14 previous owners. She's been around. She's been at Arkansas, Wisconsin. I think the original sale was in Utah, and then she made it up to here somehow. Let's see what else. She has had two accidents over the years, one in 2011. As I'm filming this, it is April of 2025. So she had an accident in 2011, a rear end accident. You'll see in a future video. That's why she has a bent, the back bumper is bent upwards. So that must have been when that happened. And then in 2016, she had another minor accident, and there's a scuff on the rear passenger side. So I think that's probably when that happened. The seller, the person I bought it from, did some previous repairs to the car, which is nice. I think it was somebody who appreciated the Land Rover and did some things to it that were smart. So, for instance, they replaced the thermostat, replaced water pump and hoses. Sounds like there was one instance the seller, I don't remember the exact story, but a belt came off or broke, and then the car did overheat on that one instance. So they replaced the water pump, replaced the hoses, flushed the radiator, kept the radiator though. So it sounds like some work's been done on the coolant system a little bit. Definitely something to keep track of because we know that these have a history of overheating. Catalytic converters and the exhaust piping up to the headers has been replaced. Brake pads and rotors have been replaced. Ignition system has been replaced, and the front drive front. All right, camera fell, so take two. Front drive shaft was replaced by the previous owner. That's also great because, again, if you know about these cars, they do have a history of the front drive shaft failing. From my understanding, doing a little research online, it sounds like what happens is that these engines run really hot, and it sounds like the heat from the catalytic converters next to the drive shaft. Um, Again, I don't know the entire story, but just that extreme heat would kind of do some damage to the U joints and other joints of the drive shaft. The drive shaft would fail, come apart. It would shear off basically, and then it would even potentially take the transmission with it. And at that point, that's very expensive to repair, to fix, obviously. So anyway, the some folks online would recommend replacing the front drive shaft with a serviceable one. Um, I'm not sure what the previous owner, if the one he put in is serviceable, but the fact that he replaced it is helpful, because that's definitely a catastrophic failure point of this car, and to know that he did that preventative maintenance is great to know. If you have a few other notes here about the current condition at the time of sale, and then I'll end this first vlog. My next vlog, the plan is I'm going to do a full kind of comprehensive check of the car. I did look at the car when I did the test drive, but now that I actually own it, just taking a few hours to really dig into it and see what's going on. I'll be doing that today, and then posting another vlog kind of going over the findings of that comprehensive check. But there are a few things that we already know. So there is a check engine light that is active. It says service engine soon. We also know that there is a hole starting in the muffler. You can hear it when you apply the gas. You hear this metallic ticking sound, and then as the RPMs go up, the ticking gets more and more frequent with the RPMs. So I'm pretty sure that is the hole in the muffler. That's where that sound is coming from. So is the service engine light on because of that? I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to get a scanner and scan the codes and see what's going on there with the check engine light. In terms of leaks, there is one big leak. It's on the driver's side, the rear door. The inner door seal is gone. So when you drive on the highway, you actually feel a draft in the back of your neck. Just the quirks of having an old car like this. So want to get that replaced pretty soon. Make sure it's air and weather tight. The tires, I don't know the age on the tires, but the tread looks really good. So the last owner had it for 2.5 years, so we know they're at least 2.5 years old. Maybe the tires were replaced right before they were sold. But the tread's looking good on all the tires, so hopefully want to get a couple years out of them and then replace them down the line, especially when I start overlanding or doing overland modifications with the car. Probably replace the tires eventually. Front wipers need replacements. They were actually replaced recently, but they came from Amazon and the packaging damaged, so they don't seal to the windshield perfectly, so those will need to be replaced. Front bumper, I'm not sure if you can tell on the video, but there's some rust happening on the fasteners, and then on the bumper itself, especially down at the bottom. This rail, which I assume that's for somebody, if you got stuck, they could wrap their winch around this bottom kind of rail here and pull you out. I believe that's what it's for, but it's rusting pretty bad, and there's actually some rot. But no big deal. Was planning to replace the front bumper anyway, with one that I really like. Rear bumper, already talked about. It's ajar because of that accident. I'd really like, if possible, to keep the stock. It's the stock bumper, and I'd really like to keep it if I could. I just think it's cool to keep the car as original as possible. But we'll see if it's too structurally damaged. Not a huge deal in the end. I'll replace it. Again, engine runs pretty well. Good cold start. No rough idling, no rough idling. No white smoke. No blue smoke. So no signs of coolant or oil exhausting out, and it sounds pretty good. Cold starting. Let's see what else. I already talked about the metallic ticking noise. I'm pretty sure that's from the hole in the muffler that's starting. So muffler will probably need to be replaced eventually. I already talked about the coolant system, partially serviced. Not seeing any major leaks when I looked under the car. I did find some oil caked around the components, but for a Land Rover, that's run of the mill. And what they say is, if there's no oil under it, there ain't any oil in it. So definitely feel that with this one, kind of par for the course. transmission, differential fluid, transfer case fluid, none of those changes have been made by the previous owner, so I'll need to change out those fluids. They were nice enough to give me the plugs and gaskets and fluids to do the differential fluid, so I'll be doing that soon. I have that in my possession. Um, biggest point of failures on these, besides the rust, is the head gaskets going out. Previous owner did not know if the head gaskets have been replaced, so they probably have not been. So that's some big project that I'll need to do soon to increase the longevity of the car. Might do like either take it to a mechanic or do it at home, a compression test to check the health of the head gaskets. But if it's already at 181,000 miles and the head gaskets haven't been replaced, it's probably better to just replace them. They're gonna fail. I talked about rust a little bit. There's no rust, no structural rust. There's some surface rust, but again, with the sunroof, with the fact that there are no sunroofs, that really helps. You're not getting that constant water seeping down into the cabin and into the bottom of the truck. So yeah, no issues with rust. I would not have bought it if I had found any. All the suspension is coils. They look extremely old. They're gonna have to be replaced. But I was planning on replacing the shocks and the springs anyway, especially as I start to take this camping and all that. The interior, there's some wear. Honestly, it's not bad. Remember that these are luxury SUVs back in their heyday, so the leather, it's in good condition. It still feels great, honestly. Just need to do some interior detailing, but overall the interior is in pretty good condition. I'll need to get some rubber mats because right now it's just carpets, and especially if I take it camping, I just want to have some nice rubber mats, so we'll be doing that eventually. Oh, let's talk about electrical. So funnily enough, so a major failure point that people know about again on these cars are the actuators for the windows. Everything was working when I test drove the car. I even did them up and down like several times to check. But then funnily enough, I've had this car for a week, and I love driving with the windows down. You can't tell, but right now, but the past week we've had amazing weather here in Seattle. So I've been driving with the windows down, and the actuator just failed on me a couple days ago. So I was able to get it back up, but I'm not going to take it back down until I replace the actuator. But anyway, windows go up and down. Speakers sound amazing. Again, this was a luxury SUV back in its heyday. The sound system's honestly really nice. Air conditioning, heater work just fine. All the locks, mirrors, everything works just fine. Yeah, so last thing I'll say before ending the video, there's some immediate things that I want to do. Again, that compression testing the health of the head gaskets, that's definitely something I need to do soon. I'm definitely not going to be taking this thing on any long drives until I do that. I want to fix the big leak, the inner door seal on the driver rear side, stop that draft and make it weather tight. I want to install an ultra gauge right away, so until I get the head gaskets replaced, at least I can monitor the engine temperature at all times when I'm driving. Because the gauge on the dash doesn't tell you anything. Your engine, from the research I've been doing, sounds like your engine could be at 215, 210, 220, running really hot, and that gauge on the inside is still going to be showing you in the middle as if you're doing just fine when you're really not. So I'm going to install an ultra gauge so I can monitor the temperature of the engine at all times, and that way we can prevent any overheating and killing the engine. Definitely don't want to do that. And that's about it. Just need to replace all the fluids and things like that. I have no idea what the previous owners did, and sounds like the last owner did take good care of the car, but I can't testify to it either. I wasn't there, so definitely gonna do basic stuff: oil change, differential fluids, all that good stuff. And those are the immediate things I'm gonna do. So It'll be fun to document this, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.